Anyway, so I'm Tom Bramhall with Charlotte Real Producers. With this COVID-19 thing, obviously we're all locked inside our houses, and I wanted to bring Charlotte real estate together. And through some brainstorming, we put together a local Zoom call with local agents. Today we've got you guys on here on a national level, looking at what real estate looks like here on a national level. So I'd like just for each of you guys just to kind of introduce yourself quickly, and just kind of tell us just give us a little introduction, and then we'll get started. So if you want to take it away, CC.
Okay, thank you. I'm CC Underwood. I own the Sellin With CC Team here in Jacksonville, Florida, and we are a team of 18, closed under 300 homes in 2019.
I'm Keri Shull. I'm in the Washington, D.C. metro area. I have about 85 people on my team. Last year, we closed close to 700 transactions. And I'm super excited to be here. I love collaborating with real estate agents around the country. So thank you so much for putting this together. And I'm excited to learn from you guys.
My name is Adam Schwarz from Riverside, California. I'm a single agent. Excited to be here.
Cool. I'll start with you, Adam. So just kind of give us an overview. You're out there in California. How has COVID-19 affected your market so far in regards to like closings, home prices, inventory? Just kind of give us the rundown on that.
Yeah, no, I think prices are probably the same. The bigger thing we're seeing is just like, just deals are all shaky. Since we started, I probably have had 5 deals fall out because of COVID. So it's just, you just never know when a deal's going to get closed. And then for us, like you could be on the last day. If COVID affects it, I don't know how it is in your guys' state, then the buyer can back out and get their earnest money and it's no big deal, right? So for us, like we closed one yesterday and literally until I hear title send me that email, like I don't believe it's going to close. Another thing we've probably been seeing too is just certain clients are just, some are taking this very serious and some aren't. So, and you can't really there's nothing you can do about it. Like I was saying, like this is kind of the hardest market ever because if you have a client who's scared of letting people in their house, like I have a client who's 700,000, which is high in our price point, but she's pregnant. She don't want anyone in her house. It's like, who am I to say, no, you need to have people come in your house. So it's just going case by case. We don't see prices change that much because supply is so low. And honestly, it's keeping prices up because there's more supply that's low. I don't see prices being affected anytime soon in Riverside, but I will say we put an offer on, our average sale price is $450. We put an offer on $1 million. There was 3 offers. We got beat out. So, there's deals out there. I just think that more deals are shakier. And 2, I think that it's just been a little bit harder. And it was a little bit shaky in the beginning because of, are we supposed to be working? Are we incentively, like all that arguments? But then now, showings are very simple, but the prices are the same. There's just less houses on the market. And, like I said, for us, there's no feeling until a deal's closed. I don't believe the deal is closed until I get the email saying it's confirmed because I'm waiting for a buyer to lose their job or back out or something like that. So it's kind of just slower other than anything else.
I think asking the right questions is critical. Personally, I don't think that it doesn't feel as shaky to me as it's feeling to Adam in my market. I think that we have to have a really strong plan to pivot with selling listings. But because of supply and demand, as he said, we're still ratifying a lot of deals every week. We're in the 15 to 18 range a week. And we had 29 contracts ratified the first week. So it was like people raced because they're like, oh my gosh, uncertainty is coming and we still need a house. And so what I would say to all the agents out there is keep focusing on building the relationships. There are people starting to come out. And I agree that you can't tell a pregnant person you should have people in your home, but you can pivot and do it virtually and teach her how to give people virtual tours if she doesn't want anyone else in there. And that's where our focus has been. And we have incredible momentum. We've actually doubled down on some of our marketing expenses and our lead count is up and our appointment count is up. So I think there's a lot to be positive about in the market, and it's just navigating it really, really in a focused way and not sitting back and waiting. CC, what about you?
I kind of a little mix of both. I mean, we're seeing right now, I mean, the lower inventories, the buyers, if their credit didn't change, because our average price point is around 260. So it's a very healthy first time home buyer price point here. So we also have a lot of lower credit scores and those price points. So the credit score standards that changed 100%, if those buyers were able to buy and their credit score wasn't affected by that change, they would be out buying. I agree with Adam that our sellers, we think there's this shadow seller inventory out there that, unlike the buyers who want to race, the sellers wanted to wait and they're going to boom. We've adapted through virtual tours. Our team quickly acted to give that peace of mind to the sellers who had to sell and were uneasy. So we came up with our COVID showing standards, no more than 3 people in a home, 1 adult, just working around uncontrollables to see where we could control the environment, having our sellers, hey, you need to leave all your lights on. Do not give them a reason to touch something in your house. Leave the doors open. Put sanitizer in the home. So our listing prices have been unchanged. I wouldn't say they're raising. We are still seeing a few multiple offers in certain price points, but we were already kind of at the top of our market and we were starting to see a little bit of a reverse. So I think we're just holding steady with prices are going. And as I believe the governors start releasing and putting back confidence back into the community, maybe in the next 30 to 60 days, you're going to see that delayed summer market from the seller's point that's going to be their race in that 30 to 60 days. So, and we're still planning through the end of the year too, because there's talk of that second wave when the kids go back to school and they're all interacting again. So we've already just have our mindset that we are planning for virtual through the end of the year. And this is just our standard until it has evened out as something more like a seasonal flu instead of this new thing. I think it sped a lot of agents forward who, we always say, I'd love to have more videos and I'd love to have more videos. Well, you don't really have an option now. So if you weren't doing it before, you're a little behind. And now you have a really great opportunity to take some great footage and photos and videos of your community without people in them. You can really up your content game. Like Keri said, we're seeing our online activity really increase because you have such a stay-at-home captive audience that they're looking. And what's great, I think, right now is before you had so many of the looky-loos. I mean, I don't know, maybe a third of the showings were, it's my first house, I'm just getting started. And we're not seeing that anymore. So the people that go are really wanting to buy.
So what I was going to say to CC's point, for agents around the country right now that are thinking, I can't wait till this is over, I have some unfortunate news for you. Now the public has adapted to a lot being virtual. And so I think that now is the time to plan ahead and to think, what if this doesn't change? What if people still want to buy houses virtually? And what if they want to have their buyer consultations and their listing consultations virtually? Because now they've been doing Zoom meetings, right? They've been working from home. They've been exposed to this as an opportunity. So if you as an agent don't embrace it, your business will be left behind. You will leave a ton of money on the table. So if you've been hanging back and trying to decide, make the commitment and move forward.
It's funny because on a, just having a small production company here in the Charlotte market, we've been educating agents on utilizing video, and agents have been told for years at Inman, or they've been coached, or, their broker in charge or whoever's been talking about video production. And I know, Adam, you've done a really good job with that. You've got an internal production that you have on your team. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I run a media company inside my office, and really I have 2 guys that follow around with cameras at all times. So we're pushing out anywhere between 100 to 200 pieces of content per week on video on Instagram, social media, and YouTube. We're getting about like 7,000 to 10,000 views on YouTube a week, and then anywhere between 50,000 impressions a week on Instagram, and then probably another 30,000 on Facebook. I'm a guy who's never cold called or door knocked. And so I've fully committed to video and pushing out valuable content. I think the problem that a lot of people are seeing, that it's like you know, just like kind of with you, Tom, like you've been hitting me up since this all started. Like, hey, what do I need to do? Hey, what do I need to do? It's like, you got to go, this is something you should have been doing a year ago. Like, I think right now, like it's like you're already behind the game if you haven't been doing it. And so, you know, for us, we truly believe in video, and the aspect of it is that I'm just trying to change to the consumer. And I think a lot of agents don't want to make that change. And I think a lot of brokerages too. You know, one of my biggest arguments is that, you know, who is a broker to kind of help young people when they haven't been they've been in the game for 30 years and maybe they're not doing business anymore. They don't even know how to adapt. You know, one of the best things that my, you know, top lender talks about, Brian Decker, who's probably does 250 million loans or million a year himself. He goes, he's like, the moment I leave the industry, I'm out. He's like, I'll always do deals because then I know what the pulse on the market's doing. If I'm out of the game, I don't know. And so if you're not shooting content, like I love this, like, you know, social media is where it's at. I mean, I've seen my numbers jump up on just Instagram and Facebook so much in the last month because people are just sitting there. If you're not putting out valuable content every day, or at least every other day, you're doing a disservice. And if I have to watch one more video, and Tom, I told you I'd say something offensive. If I have to watch one more video of some brokerage or some escrow company or some title company or lender go, we're here for you, and that's all you're posting, that we're here for you, put something out that actually helps people. Like, I love that. Like, we're here for you. Okay? That's all you're going to say? We're here for you? Like, come on, put out valuable content, letting people knowing what's going on in the market, because people are scared. And I think the big transition that we're seeing from, you know, I've only been in the industry 4.5 years, but if I had to guess, early 2000 with the .com burst, 2008, 9, and 10, like the internet is so much bigger that people are reading headlines and they see the markets crashing, or they see this, or they see that. I mean, even sometimes I'm over consumed by like, oh my God, LA Times says the market's crashing, and then this person's saying this. Like, if you're not putting out valuable content right now, when things do go back, they're not going to think about you. They're just not, because people are scared. And if you're not putting out daily content right now, what else are you doing? Nothing.
Keri, I know you guys have worked a little bit in the content field. What are you and your team doing in regards to content or video technology? What have you guys embraced?
So we got to have a private conversation with Gary V almost a year and a half.
I'm so jealous right now.
It was amazing. Cool. It was amazing. And it totally changed the way I was thinking about our video strategy. So we definitely embraced educational content. I was doing interviews with divorce attorneys, and I'm not afraid of video at all. So I would go live and do a lot of educational stuff. But what changed for me is that when I talked to Gary, he said, look, you need to be the mayor of your town. And this is not a message he's only shared with me. He shared it with a lot of real estate agents and a lot of people around the country. But the difference is I made the decision that day to execute. And so I hired 3 full-time videographers following that, added a 4th, and basically went really hard into talking not just about real estate, but about what was important to people in my community. So the first story that I did was on bird scooters, right? And people are like, what? Now I got over 200 comments on that story. And whenever I do anything, I'm like, I'm going to add some fuel to the fire. And so I also was able to get a spot in a local blog. Now there was already a real estate agent that had the exclusive. So one of the rules in my getting the spot is I'm not allowed to talk about real estate, and I never do. It's always about the latest restaurant opening, or what's going on at the local dog park that was just funded, or, you know, something that the community cares about. And I get a ton of engagement from that. And I think where most agents go wrong is they try and create content for content's sake. But another influencer that's been valuable to me is Billy Green. And he's like, and Grant Cardone as well. And their whole kind of contrast to Gary V is, hey, look, it's cool to do the content, but you've got to generate the money. And I think that the disconnect of how to do that is why most agents don't execute on video strategy. So I took what I'm doing with content and video and added a really robust digital connection to that. So I have a lot of click funnels that I use that then generate the leads. And my business, I was already number 1 in the state of Virginia, and I went from being number 1 in that I quadrupled my business in 90 days. So the other thing that people say is, oh, this is a long-term game. Bullshit. It's a long-term game if you don't do the right things. When you do the right things, it's both a long and a short-term gain, and it is a game changer. Whether you're a solo agent or a mega team, it can have dramatic impact on your success.
And you guys are really stepping up the games. How does somebody find a ClickFunnels? I've heard of them. I've not used them. How does somebody go about doing that that's watching?
So I can give you guys a link. Russell Brunson is amazing. He wrote a book about ClickFunnels and how to use them. There's a ton of information online. I'll just give you the nutshell of why it's better than a website. You can make offers and you can upsell or downsell based on the person's activity, which in a website, it's not as intuitive as that. And so what we've found is it gives us more flexibility to meet the client where they are. And you can integrate what you're doing on social with those funnels so that when someone raises their hand or wants to take action, you can direct them to the funnel. And you can continue making it educational as they're going through the funnel. So I'm happy to share that, but if you Google it, you can also learn more about it just from Googling it.
Is that something that you do personally, or somebody on your team, or do you have a team member, or is that something that's an outside source?
Thank you for asking. So I have 12 people in my marketing department. I'm really heavy in marketing because my philosophy is a lot of agents focus only on the people who are ready to buy now or sell now. And the closer they are to making a transaction, the more expensive the lead is. And most people don't have the follow-up systems in place. I hope that you guys aren't those people that are listening to this right now and you feel like your follow-up is really solid. But if you don't feel bad. Just understand there's even more opportunity, because the further upstream you go, the less you're going to pay per lead. And so if you're trying to scale a major operation, getting really good at executing upstream is going to cause your cost per lead overall to go down, but the follow-up has to be really dialed in between.
That's awesome. You have you've built out an incredible team of 12 marketing people. How long has that taken you to get to that point?
So I think I had like 4 people on my marketing team when I met Gary. And then I realized, okay, I'm doing like okay marketing, like probably better than average, but because I'm hiring people who are generalists and not specialists, I'm not nailing it. So then I started focusing on hiring specialists. So now I have a graphic designer that's incredible at graphic design. I have 2 copywriters that just focus on the copy. And I have a digital marketing specialist, and I do still work with outsourcing agency related stuff. So it's not that my team even has the capacity to do every single thing we need to do. We focus on hiring specialists. So as an example, we had someone in-house for ClickFunnels, and what we found is that wasn't working as well as we needed it to. So we started outsourcing some of that. We still outsource some of our ad campaigns. So we're always split testing other people against us to figure out who can do it best, because our whole thing is we want to be really efficient. And I run Hyperfast Agent, which is a real estate coaching company. And so I'm constantly testing for how I can implement what I'm doing in other people's business without them needing a huge staff. Because somebody who's a solo agent that's an incredible producer and really good at what they're doing, they can sprint a hell of a lot faster if they don't have to worry about lead generation. Like if the lead is handed to them on a silver platter, that's why people on teams are able to do more than solo agents in general with the right marketing and guidance, right? Like my top producer will do over 40 million. She did over 10 million in March, right? So she did 40 million last year. This year she'll probably do closer to 60 million. So when you think about those kind of numbers from a producer, well, how is that possible? Where they're segmenting and only focusing on their specialization. If we can do that for more agents and help them be able to do that in their business, that's a huge win. So that's what I'm all about. I'm always trying to solve problems on a massive scale.
You ever read that book, Built to Sell? That's what they talk about. Don't generalize, specialize. Great book.
You know what? I think I've read oh my gosh, you need to read this like outline a couple times, and every time I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to read this. So I'm glad you reminded me, Tom. I will do it. I will read it.
That's perfect. That's what I'm here for. CC, I'd love to, I know everybody's at different levels, but obviously everybody on this call is at a pretty high level. I'd just like to get some insights since we've kind of unpacked marketing in that regard. Do you have anything to add to what Keri was talking about in terms of marketing, or how you guys utilize video, or what you guys are doing in that regard?
So yeah, we have one in-house marketing, and we do, I think kind of where Keri and Adam, I mean, we were okay on video. I am very comfortable on video. I'm getting into the TikTok game. I want to be like, woo, let's go viral on TikTok. But what's interesting is it has some really great video editing features already built in. So what it's helping me do is add video to other sites more quickly than what I would be able to do myself. Without a full-time videographer that's surrounding me. I do have my at-home setup for, stands and ring lights, and it has some really great video editing software and tips in there. So obviously still learning what that is. Instagram, we're slowly building. I think I'm building on TikTok faster than Instagram, just because it's a brand new, fairly new app that's still growing in audience, and where the age is going to catch up. In that sector, it already is starting to. You can see that. Facebook has always been our number one for lead generation. We actually just started pay-per-click not too long ago. So we've really dialed down. Facebook has always provided us an 11x return, anywhere from, I would say 9 to 11x return on our ad spend. We are starting to transition and use command for that. So it actually gives us a lower cost per lead and a lower cost per click, which is fantastic because of that relationship. So overall, we should increase, our ROI on Facebook. While we're still, since we know it is a captive audience, we've started community groups. And just in a couple of weeks, I've got 1,400 people on a local community group that I started that was Neighbors Helping Neighbors in our farm area. So I would never, ever have had access to 1,400 people in my farm with their names, really detailed information about them. And it's like, okay, next door has gotten very negative. The news has very negative. So if I want to control the environment, I need to own it. So we started the group, and it's just been incredible. And now we're starting to add the value piece now that the people are there. So we are having a probate, like, what do you need to know about your home, homestead, and probate? We're doing webinars in there. We're going to start providing educational content. Today our team is doing a reverse bold 100. So we're giving, we're really big into giveaways. We love this radio marketing giveaway call in to win aspect. We're doing it with our database next week. We're doing it with the public today. So the goal, we set our goals. The goal is to have a minimum of 100 unique callers, and to set 10 appointments in one day. And it's just, I think with marketing as much outbound, right, it's also inbound. We have 2 ISAs on the team, or actually we had one just leave, so we're hiring again. So when we're going to bring on 2 more and eventually have 3 ISAs is enough, to Keri's point, that long term, that nurture follow-up. People are most happy when they are working in their happy space, when they are doing the things that they like to do. So let the agents be agents. Let the ISAs nurture. Let the marketing. Let the TCs do the admin. And if you are a single agent, you can outsource a lot of these things. There's a lot of virtual assistants who can lead gen for you, can set appointments for you if you're not in that space, with varying levels of payment, either upfront or per appointment, or as a referral fee on the back end, which is what agents do every day. So I think in that marketing, it's diversify yourself. If it's not a paid for, you can create local groups. You can create these hyper-focused, who loves English bulldogs? You can create an English bulldog lover group. There's mom groups. We've got a lot of great mom groups already here that were interactive and had great engagement. and they dominated. So I wasn't going to go into that sector. Said, okay, well, what don't we have? We don't have a nice place for people to, hey, I need a mask, right? The immediate need was fulfilled by that group is I need Clorox wipes. I need tissue. I need mask. I need elastic bands. Who has it? And you could see the neighbors just dropping fabric off. It allowed us a really great space. We didn't know it at the time, but we had a community Easter egg hunt that we were going to do, and that got canceled. So we had to pivot really, really fast and say, well, how are we going to make this virtual? Well, we were able to use that community group to say, okay, we're going to egg your house. And we did a virtual Easter egg, and we delivered them. There was an opt-in, so it was tastefully done. We weren't just throwing eggs in people's yards. So those that wanted it, and we had 300 homes that we delivered Easter to, and the comments and engagement of, I can't believe you guys are doing this. We are stealing an idea from another group. We're going to do graduation boards. So for the seniors who weren't able to have graduations, we're going to put, happy graduation boards in their yards and surprise them. So it's just, being present and branding. That is all part of branding yourself, which is not always an immediate. And when we add in that purposeful, real estate content that, hey, this is brought to you by, they know, they are very well aware who is providing this for them.
I love that you're doing that. Love. Have you talked to any local news stations about what you're doing?
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, girl. You should. They need feel-good stories right now. And so some of my coaching clients are doing similar things. And they are just, one of them, I said, take 30 minutes and just send a quick email out about what you're doing. Because also with the graduation boards, there's other people in the community that aren't in the group yet, right? So if you tell them, join this group and we want to do it, and then you get other communities that want to help you do it, community members.
That's fantastic.
It'll blow up. So she got in 30 minutes, 2 live news interviews. One she did at a home inspection with her clients holding her computer. And then she got featured in a local newspaper as well. Like,
that's fabulous.
Minutes. So you should totally do it. And you just Google the news source and who does the real estate stories. And it'll be easy. They'll be all over that. That's amazing.
Thank you for that.
Totally. Yeah.
Adam, I know you have a whole schedule of shooting video. Like Mondays you post something about food, kind of unpack kind of what that week of content rollout looks like for you and kind of how you navigate that. I think this is I know we've spent a little bit of time on this, but I think it's something that people are really looking at more since we're face to face on Zoom now. I feel like people have gotten a little bit more comfortable with the idea of video, and I feel like once this whole thing comes out, I feel like it's really going to explode. But unpack that a little bit for us, Adam, on your schedule and how you post and kind of what you're throwing out there.
Yeah, so like we're really diving into being like going back to like Gary, right? Like my whole office is built around Gary. That's why I'm jealous that you talked to Gary. So like Monday, we do a food vlog every week. So we go out and find a local restaurant and do a food vlog with them, right? And then Tuesday is we build out a vlog of what we shot the week before. It's kind of getting a little tight right now because we haven't been out in a while. Then Wednesday is some type of educational video that I'm shooting. And I think a lot of agents miss out on the aspect of like shooting educational videos. Like it's that balance of like brand and like community and then education. And why I think education is so important, especially for brand new agents, is that it helps you learn what you're talking about. So then like if you're shooting video about real estate and then you run into a client, then you know what you're talking about. I mean, I think the biggest mistake a lot of agents make, and the reason why a lot of agents don't want to go on camera is they don't have the confidence because they really don't know what they're talking about. And they're worried that, oh, well, it's going to be on camera and someone's going to watch it. And they're like, as many times people will come to me and be like, hey, you misspoke there. I'm like, I don't care. Like I'm pushing out. I know that it's like gone in a day. Like, I don't really care. But the aspect of it is you don't have the confidence because you're worried that someone's going to call you out. So the one tip I will say, it's like, no one cares. No one cares. Like, just go out and shoot your content. Even my team came from shooting like, Netflix shows and stuff like that. And they're like, hey, that's not perfect. I'm like, don't care. Just edit it, post it, move on. Right. So Wednesday is some type of educational. Thursday, we started a podcast called Cool Places with Cool People. So we would go to people's businesses and do a podcast in their business. because it's funny, when he's talking about coronavirus changes, like obviously we can't go to places now. So I actually built out a whole podcast room in my office. So literally all next week, now that real estate's kind of slowed down a little bit, literally I have like 10 podcasts in my office next week with people, local businesses, teachers, stuff like that. And then Friday we drop a video, and obviously it stopped because there's nothing going on. But Friday was, what's good in Riverside, what events that are going on this weekend that the community can know about. And I really want to go moving forward after this all goes done. The what good in Riverside is I want to start interviewing like top athletes, teachers, principals. I want, top students. And I want to start doing those things for those people, because what people don't realize is that, these people are not like popular people. So when you ask them to be on a podcast, it's hilarious to see the look on people's faces when they put the headphones on, they can hear themselves like, oh my God, this is so cool. And so I think that what you need to do is build out a schedule, and I think, and believe, and just go into who you are. Like, I'm a single 32-year-old dude. I can't really be going to kids' houses and dropping off eggs. Like, that's just not my style. It just doesn't work. Like, there's moms and families that can do that. That's not my niche. My niche is building equity with small business owners and promoting them and marketing and stuff like that. And so you just have to find your niche and then commit to that niche. And I think that what people don't realize is that you're competing with so many people that, like, my goal on Instagram, let's go Instagram. My goal is every time you go on your Instagram page, I have a new story up that's not just real estate. And I think that's the biggest mistake realtors make, is they post only real estate, and it's not valuable real estate. It's just, it matters who you work with and buy with and sell with me, which I went on a huge rant the other week about this. Or it's nothing about real estate. And no one even knows you do real estate. And I think that actually the worst one out of these two, and I'm not, me and Tom are really good, is I respect the crap out of you two women, because it seems like we're doing more brokers and team leaders need to stop telling attractive women to stop posting just photos of themselves and say they're real estate agents. It's a disservice. I feel so bad for women in this industry that thinking a pretty face is going to get them deals. And it's just mind-blowing to me that if you just put a little bit of value out, stop living on comments and likes if they don't actually bring you business. And that's what the biggest thing I want to tell every single, I get not as much as engagement as the pretty girl down the street that's a real estate agent, but I bet you what, we go numbers to numbers, I'll pull out 25 deals off Facebook this year, you'll pull out none. And I think people need to stop realizing is that the world bases themselves off likes and comments. We do not. If it's not bringing you business and making you actually money, you need to stop. And I think it's just the biggest disservice that, and I know it sucks, because I know when I post, like, I really want to go negative sometimes. Like, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I wish I had a troll account that I could post trolly stuff, because one, I really feel that way. And two, I know it would give me likes, but what's the point? It doesn't bring me business. It's bad for the brand. It's bad for my look. It's bad for, and to think that the aspect of it is I'm on social so much. If you don't want to share your personal life, you don't have to. No one knows my personal life on social media. No one knows who I'm dating, who I'm with, who I'm not with. So stop acting like that is where, I don't want to go on social because I don't want to show my life. But please, if any woman is watching this, because I hate it, stop living off likes and comments. Post out stuff that's actually going to bring you business. And team leaders and brokers, and I think this is a big flaw that we're seeing right now, and I hope people realize, if your broker or team leader is not helping you through this time, the actual hard time that we've seen since 2010, you're not working for the right person. And let's be honest, I'm worried about the Coldwell Bankers, the Keller Williams, the Century 20s, the Remaxes. I know in my town, I know all those brokers. They don't even know what a Zoom meeting is. They don't even know what a camera is. So if you're in the wrong spot, and I don't care if you're 45 or 50. If you want to be in the industry for another 10 years, you better dip out and go work for someone like you guys that have cameras, that have video, and that can actually help you do business. Because how long are we going to worry? Like, I don't think anyone's going to open their doors anytime soon. I'm sorry. If you're a door knocker, I don't think anyone's opening your door for the rest of the year.
Yep.
I don't know if we might not have open houses for the rest of the year. If open houses where you get business, we might not have one for the rest of the year. Who knows? You know, and so if you're not making that shift, and if you're going on your team Zoom meetings and you're not getting value, then we have an issue.
With remote closings, does anybody want to talk about remote closings? Have you guys closed some homes completely, like remote, sight unseen? You guys want to add some insight to that?
I can touch on that quickly. So because I'm in the DC market, that's not new to me doing virtual closings. Before I could do FaceTime, because FaceTime didn't exist, I'm making myself really dated here. I was already taking videos and then uploading the videos and sending them to the clients, and doing closings where people never even came to the market. So this is just leaning into that a little more. I think one mistake that I see people making that are shifting to virtual is that they're just giving everything away without getting the lead to actually leave their information. And there's a big argument about this, like give away free stuff, give away free stuff. Absolutely. But if you can't door knock and you can't do open houses, you have an obligation to your sellers to figure out who's interested in their home and be the salesperson that you are. Right? So not having a lead capture system with everything that you're doing virtually, that's just the wrong approach. And I'd love to go toe to toe with anyone who thinks it's not. You're wrong. So you need to figure out how to do that, because then you're able to actually walk people down the path. And if your only value is putting the information out and you're not truly able to sell the asset or the house for somebody, then you're going to have to work harder at being more creative and more focused on how to continue selling.
And just to piggyback on that, we're a high military market. So the same, we have a lot of military. They are not able to, fly from Sicily, where they're stationed, and that it's on another level, but we are very much used to walking them through the home, inspections, truly being their advocate, and that they have to have a high level of trust to truly buy a home virtually. I think people have to realize and, humble themselves. If someone is very, very unsure, there's a trust factor. There are so many agents out there. There's so many ways to pick an agent online on the real estate websites that they realize they don't know who the person is that's helping them buy the home. They truly understand that. So some of them don't have a choice, but it's very, very uneasy. We discussed on our team the difference between a virtual tour, right? Just being a tour guide and walking someone through, and being purposeful around a live open house. I was like, so what's the valuable content that you provide in an open house? This is where you can really, really outshine other agents who are just touring the home. I was like, otherwise you're just a tour guide. What do buyers want to know at an open house? You need to be the market expert. You need to know things about the home. Here, the age of the roof and the AC is extremely important. The schools are extremely important. You've got an opportunity to give them a street view, to walk them through the community. And really step up when everyone else is, here's the kitchen, here's the master bath. Really talk about the upgrades, talk about your value. If it's a dated kitchen, offer the value of your contractors and say, you know what, we have really great affordable painters. They can update this kitchen and make it white or gray, whatever color you want. And we invite you, comment down below and take that a step further. So with our agents, so every single person that you see that does like or comment, you need to go that extra step and message that person. You can see every single person that likes, loves, and comments, and just thank them. Thank you so much for being on. Are you looking at homes? Are you bored in the house? Or are you looking to make a real estate transaction this year? And just start engaging with the people that have engaged with you, but may not have commented or raised their hand necessarily. Just go that extra step.
That's important. CC, where do you see like Q2 at in terms of real estate in your market? And where do you see it kind of going beyond that? Are you excited about it? Are you bearish? Are you bullish?
I think, I wouldn't say optimistic. Our team is still moving forward. We're ahead of where we were last year. I know in April, last year we did take more listings. So I think the shadow seller inventory is extremely important for us to focus on, is those long-term seller nurtures, having conversations, being purposeful and asking them, you know, what's the point, you know, where you are going to decide to put your home on the market? Is it going to be when they lift the stay-at-home order? Because if so, you need to know what, you know, when those people are going to come to market. Again, the next 30 to 60 days are going to be very, very critical. And when they go, they're going to be aggressive. And it could potentially be this, you know, seller crazy inventory that comes out of nowhere. You know, where the lenders I talk to, they expect interest rates to settle back down. Once stay-at-home orders are listed, they expect the credit ratios to relax. And some of our lenders have already relaxed their standards and saying, hey, we're back down to 620. We are going to keep our papers. We're not going to sell them because we want people in the market. But again, you can't just think about today. You have to think about 6 months from now. You have to think about a year from now. So understanding that just because the stay-at-home order is lifted and people get back into the marketplace, there is that potential for the second wave. So you do have to always have that plan B, the contingency plans. You have to diversify your business and be ready to pivot no matter what comes your way, whether that be summer, whether that be babies, hurricanes, Christmas, right? There's always something. This isn't any, like, this situation is new, but you know, disruptions to our business, that's not new. And if you weren't good at pivoting around disruptions before, you're really hurting. So, you know, take advice, I think, from everyone on this panel and see like that adaptation is critical. Implement quickly.
Yeah, Keri, where do you see Q2, Q3? Are you bearish, bullish? Where are you at?
Oh, dude, I'm so freaking excited for Q2. I think what's going to happen is that there are a lot of people who do not like where they are. And because they've been trapped there, they're painfully aware that they need to move. I think as soon as this lifts, our market's going to go absolutely crazy. So our goal this year is to do 1,000 transactions. And right now, our pace is off by about 80 transactions. When I look at the end of the year, I actually think we're going to exceed that because all of a sudden, boom, you have the sellers that are like, come on. You have the buyers that are like, get me out of here, wherever they're renting, wherever. And I'm seeing it already happening. I'm having bidding wars in my market now, and people are like under strict protocols about how they're seeing houses and doing a ton of virtual stuff. When it opens up, it's going to be like every real estate agent that pivoted correctly, that actually put in the work of staying in touch with their pipeline, will be rewarded for having the mindset to stay in the game. So stay in the game, guys. Call your people now, because some of them are like, you know what? This is bullshit. I'm getting out now, and I'm going to find a house. I'm not going to live in a situation where I'm working from my kitchen table anymore, right? So I can't wait. I'm pumped.
All right. Adam, how about in your area? Where do you see like Q2, Q3? How's your, what are you seeing?
I don't know. No, I mean, obviously, like, Freddie Mac just came out with something the other day saying they're seeing that prices are going to dip a little bit and then go back up that year. And then obviously people are then commenting, especially a lot of agents that do no deals, commenting that there's going to be a crash. Well, if you want to look about like why there was a crash last time, it was a huge influx of properties, right? Just, and that's the biggest thing I always try to tell people, like, go and dive in deep and look at history and why things happen and why prices drop. We had 4,200 homes listed in 2010 in Riverside, just in Riverside. Right now we have 450. So we had 10 times the amount of houses. And so when people think that the market's going to crash to that point, I don't see 10 times the houses hitting the market. So I think prices are going to stay the same. I think that rates are going to stay low, and I think that we're just going to keep on going. In California, we can't even foreclose on people for 90 days after the state of the emergency is lifted, right? So knowing that, and knowing, talking to, luckily I work hand in hand with a guy named Bob Cadez, who was number 3 in the world on the last crash. I mean, he was doing, over 1,000 deals a year. And we were talking, he goes, dude, he's like, if we see anything, it'll take so long because the courts are going to be so backed up because they've been shut down. And so I see this year being exactly the way it's going to be. Houses are going to, more buyers are going to come out. Sellers are going to want to sell now that have been stuck in the house. And let's be honest. Yes, there's been 20 22 million, 26 million people for file for unemployment. That's true. But a lot of those people, especially in California, who lost their jobs, you know, bartender, those low end jobs, they're not buyers anyways in our market. You know, our average sale price is $450. And to be honest, if you want a good house, it's $500. Those aren't our buyers anyways in my market. And then let's be honest, in LA, in Orange County, it's $1 million. So for us, like, I'm not worried about the unemployment rate. That's what people would say. Oh, the unemployment. Those people are renters anyways. You know, I will say this, like, I'm a renter. I'm in my apartment right now. Like, I know rents. I know our building has 25 open apartments right now, which is unheard of in this building because we're in the heart of downtown. So I think rent's going to get hurt a little bit. I don't think apartments going to be able to keep on jacking up rent every year because my building's already stopping. But homeowners in my market, they're the people that still have jobs right now. The firefighter, the police, the medical. Like, I'm dropping Target Geo Farms on every hospital right now, targeted just to nurses, because these people are working 48 hours, 50 hours a week. They're going to have a lot of cash and they're going to want to spend it. And they're going to want to, when this is all settled and they can actually get time off, they're going to want to spend some money. And so it's just going to be going after the right clientele and not just the randomness. But I will say this, and I want your guys' opinion. You know what the one thing I hope comes out of this? I hope that you can only show a house if you have a pre-qual for a letter. If we can move forward that you can only show a house, you have to submit a pre-qual letter on every person, then you'll never have looky loos. I really hope that comes from this, because that would be amazing. That's my hope. I might start a petition
Wishful
to pass
thinking,
that.
right?
Yeah, because
Right.
It would save everyone so much time.
Just kind of wanted to leave you guys, with just something, positive. Like, Adam, what are you most excited about, like, kind of moving forward once this thing kind of gets lifted? Personally, professionally, what are you most excited about?
I'm excited that it gave me time to do the things I've been wanting to do. Like, I've been wanting to have a podcast room in my office for so long, and I just never deals come up and you just kind of forget about it, And I think that the time of, and then we're going really hard on YouTube now. Like, we've never gone hard on YouTube. We would just post our stuff that we posted on Facebook and YouTube, and just, we just kind of sat it there. But knowing that I've been watching a lot of people who are on YouTube make a lot of money, who are agents that do no deals, but people believe them. And I'm like, hey, these guys aren't even in the industry. Like, I could be making money. And I think that the one thing I want to leave everyone off on is that the world stopped, but the internet kept on going. Mm-hmm. Like, it's 2020. Come on, guys. Like, the internet is here to stay. And if you're not, I tell everyone, Google your name and see what comes up. Just Google it. Don't Google your name in Realtor. Just Google your name and see what comes up. And if you're not on the first 5 things, you're not, you're doing a big disservice. And, but I really think it goes back to the team leaders and the brokers and those kind of things. There's a 95% fail rate in real estate for a reason. And when these team leaders and brokers start actually providing value to their agents, because I'm a new agent, I'm not even close to your guys' levels, right? And I had to figure this out all on my own. 4.5 years of trying to figure it out, even, and so we need to do a better job in this industry, and we need to do a better job of promoting people and telling them actually what to do, because it's sad. I'm so tired of seeing 95% of agents get in the industry and then fail, because it sucks.
I totally agree.
It sucks. Yeah. And what's going to be interesting if this goes longer. And I think what people need to realize is the world has been, we don't know if this becomes a yearly thing. It could be in the fall. It could happen again. This could literally be something that happens every 2 to 3 years. Yep. So if we're not making adjustments now, it's too late. And I think that if you're not making adjustments, you're going to be gone sooner or later anyways, which is fine for us because we'll do just fine. And that's the thing. What's sad is everyone on this call is just fine. We're just fine. You know what I mean? But it's interesting to now that we have the internet, we have Instagram, we have Facebook and all that stuff. Like they say, if this keeps on going longer and things get really sideways, which I don't think it will, I think we're kind of calming down now already. The tide's going out and we're going to see how many people are swimming naked, And I think that like Gary talks about, failure is on such a bigger site now because everyone can see what you do. If I have to lose my company and shut it down, everyone's going to know. And so people need to realize is that you need to be working with the right people at all times. And I hope that's something that this is realizing to people is like, if you're watching anything right now and you can get anything, go to your broker right now and say, how do I make deals on the internet and video? And if they can't help you, then you need to quit immediately and go find someone that can help you. That's it. So I'm excited because it got me to do stuff that it got me to do stuff that I haven't done yet. And I want people to realize it's hard to do video every day. If I didn't have 2 video guys staring at me that I pay every day, I wouldn't do it either. So be around people that are forcing you to do it every day because it's hard. It's not fun to be on camera every day or think of new ideas, and then just copy people. Google someone and copy their videos and do the same thing. That's what I do sometimes.
That's right.
Yeah, who cares? I'm going to start following you two. I'm just going to start copying your videos. I mean, you don't have to worry about me like throwing eggs at people's houses because, you know, be like, who's that stranger guy outside our house with a big sign saying happy graduation? It would be just weird for me to do that.
Keri, quickly, what are you excited about?
Well, Adam made me think of something, so I'm gonna bring this up. If you're somebody who is looking to grow a team right now, there's a lot of talent out there because they're feeling like they're not getting the support that they need, because they're feeling like they're not in the right spot, and they've had some really focused time to internalize where they are in their life and what they want. There's an opportunity to partner with those people. And so like our careers page is exploding. I'm really excited to bring on some of the talented people that have reached out to us. I'm excited about what this actually means for our society too. So on a bigger level, I'm seeing people supporting each other, like the neighbors to neighbors idea that CC brought up. Like, we're supporting our hospital workers. Our community has already raised $5,000 to do that. We've dropped off like 60 or 70 meals for the medical professionals, and the community is continuing to donate. Restaurants are continuing to support that effort. And it makes me emotional and happy for where we are as a society, because we're thinking about people and thinking about helping people in a different way. So I think when this is all over, we'll have more compassion for each other, and we'll be position to really grow. If your business has dug in there and supported the community is going to reward that by coming back to you.
I can just echo this. The gift of time that you have, the gift of time to work on your business, to do the things that you haven't been able to do, whether that be video, content, your systems manual, your operations, your, exploring new options. Like, you've never ever have been gifted so much time. Use it wisely. We all know the difference between those who are successful and those who aren't is how they use their time. So keeping your mindset positive. We're just really excited to wake up and get ready, not wake up in my pajamas. Even though some days are yoga days, I'm still really purposeful in how I use my time. I'm dressed up from, the stomach up and relax from the waist down. So continue to use your time. I can't even tell you how excited I am for the videos, for the community, for extra drone shots, to grow several. Like, I started 5 different Facebook community groups. So the Neighbors and Neighbors, that was just one of them. You can grow such an incredible captive audience. Realize that what you have right now is an opportunity. This is not a setback by any means. Just take it, own it, and move forward. And don't apologize for anything that you're doing, and be different, stand out.
It was exciting to kind of get face-to-face and one-on-one with you guys, and really shed some light on real estate on a national perspective. So I just wanted to thank you guys for being on the call today, and I will hope to see you guys here soon enough. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
having us.
Thanks, Tom.